What's up, team? This is Rut. I just want to give you a heads up. If you got any small children or sensitive adults in the room, this podcast has some pretty extreme explicit language like and or and. So if any of those words get under your skin a bit, you might want not to listen to this one. But if you don't mind words like or then tune in because you're going to laugh your ass off.
Team Never Quit. Team Never Quit Radio.
You ever think about quitting?
It's the combat of life hammering the snot out of you.
Well, stand by, dig in deep, and get ready to get fired up with us.
Welcome to the Team Never Quit podcast, the #1 podcast that inspires you to fight on. I'm your host, David Rutherford, here with Mr. Never Quit himself, Marcus Luttrell.
Our mission is to help you embrace the suck of life, to teach you the values of working your ass off, and to interview the most hard-charging people on planet Earth.
We know life is hard. It's time for you to suck it up, Buttercup, and let us teach you to persevere in every environment imaginable by sharing real-world lessons learned by those who never quit. That's right. It's time, Marcus, for us to help them defeat the negative insurgency in their lives.
You fire me up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll.
Let's roll. Marcus!
Scared me.
Marcus! Choke yourself! Not with your hand, with my hand! Brother, I want to start this show out in remembrance of the Gunny, bud. We lost a true American hero and patriot and an icon, a Marine that embodied the Marine Corps, that embodied America, that I know you were friends with, man. And I just want to tell all of our audience and our listeners, man, this show is dedicated to R. Lee Emery. Man, tell the story about that last week. Yeah, rest in peace, sir.
Melly came up and said that Military Makeover wanted me to step in and guest host for the Gunny while he was down, because I didn't really understand. I didn't ask him. Can't anything kill the Gunny? You gotta have
right?
permission to die.
Yeah, right.
But I guess he had some bypass surgery, and so he was down and recovering. And I went down to Florida. We remodeled this veteran's house, so I got a chance to step into his crew. And he did a good job, man. He's been with him, I think, for 14 seasons, and
wow.
they were awesome. I mean, I kept thinking in the back of my head, I was like, Gunny, put the work in. He's got him in check. You know, they work like a well-oiled machine.
They do, huh?
Yeah,
I love that show.
An honor to be there.
Yeah,
just in his stead. He does things the way he does. That was the cool part when we got there, is because everybody kind of anticipated me to, I guess, the Gunny does this and the Gunny does that. And I was like, well, the Gunny told me to come down here and stand in and work my butt off. So that's what I'm going to do, right?
Yeah.
He has his style. I mean, he's the Gunny. He does his thing. You're about to see what happens on the other end of that, right? So
absolutely. And you worked him to the bone, didn't you?
I did, right? Half days, 12 hours, bro.
I love it, dude.
And, so I got back that next day, man. He passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I didn't get a chance to see him because we were down there working and he was recovering. But we got it done, Gunny. We got that house finished up. And that old boy, he's happy, man. Him and his family. He was a good guy, too. He got hit by an IED, lost his sight. And but he's got a remodeled home to go into and
make his life and his family's life a whole hell of a lot easier, man.
Kicking into overdrive in the other direction, right?
Well, and that's what I love about these great programs, in particular the ones that Gunny supported. And after he passed, I mean, this guy's an icon. There must have been I don't know, every single Instagram page that I follow was posting something about the Gunny, man. And everybody had a picture with him. Everybody said the kindest words in the world. My favorite ones are the ones, Wizard, where they said, drop your favorite Gunny quote on the bottom, right? And just they came out of the woodwork, dude.
That's for sure.
And then there were people that were posting that the old movie that he was in, where, you know.
Full Metal Jacket wasn't his first.
No.
Yeah, he did it for a while.
No, Apocalypse Now.
Really?
He was
Man, he was the chopper pilot with the air calf that drops Martin Sheen.
Oh,
remember?
that's right.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody remembers that scene. Right? He's
Fire
in
the
there. He's in there a
Valkyrie.
few times.
Yeah,
Fire
for
the
sure.
Valkyrie
Yeah,
and-
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
You got to have theme
man,
music,
how
right?
you do, man? We
Right?
we
Charlie, don't surf.
smell napalm in the morning.
God, I
the
love
theme,
that.
Yeah, the theme song. Yeah,
Everybody needs
gotta
a
have
theme
that.
song,
That
right?
Valkyrie one was hardcore, though.
Well, I just
People say those lines today from the Gunny, they don't even know where they came from.
They
That's
don't.
how iconic he was, right?
Well, just think about in training, in every platoon you were in, everywhere you got, they always come out. They are burned into the psyche of every single military person out there.
Baked into the culture.
It totally is, right?
Oh.
And then also think about being a Marine, man. If you're a Marine, I mean,
They're all warfighters.
right? You hear Gunny like 24/7, I think. I think he's your alarm clock. I think he's when you bust
Like
people's
your
butts.
ass. Yeah, the Full Metal Jacket. He wasn't. That wasn't his role, right?
No,
he was
he
on
was an
set.
advisor.
Yeah, and then he was on set. He did it so well, they pushed him into it.
Well, they were, I guess Stanley Kubrick, the guy was doing it, and he's like, hey, man, that's not how it sounds. And he's like, well, show us. And he did the example. And next thing you know, Stanley Kubrick's,
he was
0430, you made it, Gunny. Right?
He was a technical advisor, and what he did was he shot like a sequence in order to kind of instruct the actors as an example of how they should act. But then when things didn't work out and Kubrick saw that, he said, why is this man not just the actor?
guy.
Why are we not using him to play the role? And there you go.
And there you have
This is
it, man.
history.
And then we had the world famous Gunny. So, Gunny and all the people out there who loved you combined with us, may you rest in peace. May you're standing tall at the pearly gates, protecting those gates for us and welcoming every brave soul and every good soul that comes through. You're our Gunny for heaven now. So God bless you, buddy.
Oh, God, he's not resting in peace. He's resting and ready, right?
Yeah, he is. Amen. Amen. But I'm telling you, the Marine we got coming on today, Marcus, is gonna blow you away. And that is a pun intended, because he was blown up by an IED, lost his leg, almost lost his other leg, and now is out there setting the example for all of us to follow, that a little bit of, one leg ain't gonna keep this Marine down. And this guy has become, a beacon of light for all veterans, for all people. And really, he became huge by running the Boston Marathon, a few years after, the Boston explosion. And he's out there. And the thing was, he carried this incredible flag, right? The whole way, dude. Now, I'll tell you what, I've ran one marathon in my life. It was the Great Wall Marathon in China, right? And that thing was crazy.
Oh, is that cool?
15,
Good time.
it was awesome, dude. Although
You're gonna do one, that's
the
pretty good choice.
1,569 steps, I could have done without those for sure. But it was fun. But and I know you love running
I
too.
do. I was just thinking about Wizard. Look that up when the next one is.
Really?
So he won't go.
So we're on the other side of the planet. Occupied.
Dude, I was hoping you'd do the Machu Picchu marathon with me, but it's supposed to be the hardest marathon
wow.
out there. Yeah.
That sounds brutal.
I'll do that one.
Yeah?
It's hard.
It's really hard.
They're all
suck.
them races
Will you
are
carry
Well,
a flag with
if
you the
it's
whole
steep
way?
enough, you can just fall down half the marathon.
It's
I'm
steep.
good at that.
It's
Yeah, I can fall down now like nobody else.
It's just
I
gravity.
got that down to it.
He's 13.1
Oh my God,
miles
you
of
just
it.
said that.
I got a
didn't
black
you?
belt in that, bro. Damn.
Oh, I can't believe that just came out of your mouth, dude. That right there is my favorite quote. I've got a black belt and falling down a mountain. Marcus Luttrell.
Yeah. There's that proverb, to climb a mountain, everyone has to start at the bottom. It's kind of a way of life, if you will. They don't ever say anything about
falling
back down. You can fall all the way back down.
Oh, sweet baby
That
Jesus.
damn mountain, dude.
Oh, God. That could be that's the funniest thing I've ever heard on the show. All right, Wizard, could you please give us a little intro of Mr. Jose Sanchez?
Yeah, Jose Sanchez. Let's see, 33. He's a San Antonio boy. He joins the USMC 2003. Various positions. I mean, he was with the 312 Artillery, 38 Infantry, working out of Ramadi, 4th Recon as an instructor. And then in 2011, he gets chalked to the first Anglico. That's
Hey, man, Gitmo, Recon, 4th Recon, worked with them too.
He's bad.
I was in Ramadi with him. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. We have 338. When he was there. No, that's not right. He was there in 06 with Chris, probably.
Yeah.
So
I think right before you guys pushed in.
we ripped them out.
Yeah. Where were you guys work with the Army, though, mostly, right?
We had a striker battalion right outside the gate there.
Yeah.
Roll through them.
With the tanks, right?
Yep. And then Bulldog had the tanks. He had to come get us a couple times. Ramadi Mile, baby. But it just depends because there was a Marine detachment on a float, Fort Fox, I think, and they sent them in because we had to do a block clearance down in one of the, I think it was a P sector. We were Overwatch while they pushed through. Most of the time, it was Army.
Yeah.
They own all the battle spaces.
Yeah, they did.
Deconflict, that was a lot of times we were getting our butts handed to us is because we were on over 2 deconfliction lines.
Really?
Yeah, so we had to call in for reinforcements. They had to check in to go through the battle space.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a little hairy. That's the cool thing about Bulldog. He's an Aggie, tall, skinny guy. He fired more main tank gun rounds, I think, than Pat or something like that.
What?
Yeah, he got religious with. That might have been an overstatement, but they said
that's a hard thing to
That's a
believe
lot.
right
That's a
there.
lot of
'Cause he
tank
invented
rounds.
I mean,
That's a lot of tank rounds. Bulldog, you're badass.
he
at
is a
that
badass,
shit.
though, man. Because he would come and get us no matter what. That's what he
matter
said.
what.
He's like, I'll come get you no matter what. So we would jump the wire over to him, like, bro, I'm in trouble. Come get me, man. He's like, oh my way.
And just roll out.
And the whole credence to the whole running thing, we got into a tick coming out of a house one time, and we came back in, set up shop, and then called in a ride because we were on this long street. I'm pretty sure they were setting up IEDs. The tank comes down, does a 180, and takes off. And when I say the Ramadi Mile, we had to run behind it.
To get out of that block.
We ran back to camp. I think they did that on purpose. The look on my face, all my other guys were like,
You're like, mother.
8 months earlier, I was in Afghanistan.
You're like, I was my understanding there'd be no running
I'm
involved.
tired
in
of
this.
this foot patrol bullshit.
Tank. That was cold.
That was cool. All right, go ahead, Wizard.
So 2011, he finds himself Helmand Province, Afghanistan. He's with the 1st Anglico, and they're on a walking security patrol. He steps on an IED, major injuries to both of his legs, saves one, the left one ends up being amputated. It takes him a while to recover from this, and we're probably, I'm sure, going to get into some detail on that. But eventually, he kind of pulls himself out of a dark place, and he extracts himself from this by pouring himself into fitness, and then
He's a beast, man.
What he learned from sharing that experience with others, inspiring others, and whatnot. 2015, he decides to run a marathon. This is a major feat for obviously an amputee, right?
It almost killed me with both legs.
Major feat for anybody,
right?
So he runs the Marine Corps Marathon 2015 through 2016. Does his first Boston Marathon. Throughout these, like you mentioned before, he's carrying this flag that was given to him. It was filled with inspirational quotes
by his unit,
words of encouragement and whatnot by his unit, and that becomes his hallmark, and also gains him a lot of attention. I mean, as well as he starts putting out a lot of videos related to fitness and working out, inspiring people that way. Masses over, I think right now he's around 51,000 Instagram followers, for instance. He's also a founder of a charity called Rise Above Hardship, RAH. Along with his wife, a nonprofit created to help empower and assist our military veterans and families.
He's a badass. And if you've
he's
ever
a major inspiration to a lot of people out there.
I love this guy, and he's a character too, man. He is full tilt, raw. This guy, I'm telling you,
there's an honesty about him. People
when he comes
identify
on-
with what.
No, that's
he
an
puts out there.
understatement.
when he comes on, you watch, you listen, gents. This guy is, I mean, he speaks from the heart, man. So, what do you say? Let's bring this Marine on in memory of the Gunny, and let's have a true Semper Fi show. Wah! Dun 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 dun. Marcus?
That's a new one.
Oh, it's a total new one. And
That was a melodic seizure. Is what that was.
no, it was not a melodic seizure. Just hear me out and let me
the
get
hell?
to the point. Stop it already. Listen, when I think about great human beings who deserve to have like a theme song as they come walking in, right? You think about whether it's, I mean, there's like the Reservoir Dogs, they come walking, and there's old school themes from Quentin Tarantino, or you think about Shaft coming in, and those old time, those old 76
Theme music.
Yeah, theme music. We all want to have theme
Darth
music.
Vader.
Dun 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 dun, whatever that one is. We all
Jaws.
Jaws. Why you keep going to Jaws?
I
A
like this
shark
theme.
doesn't-
I like this
a shark
vein
doesn't
you're on.
deserve theme music, though, does he?
Absolutely.
World's perfect predator.
Okay, all right. A shark. All right.
I mean,
but my point,
every time you see a damn shark, doesn't that jingle come up in your head?
Yeah.
He has his own. I mean, that's how you know you're a badass dude. Is that when you see whoever it is, that his theme music is playing in your head.
It subconsciously triggers your walkout music.
So you're making my point for me. So that is when I start thinking about this guy, this Marine, this badass, this guy that we got on the show. That's the level of theme music in my head, not some other kind of song from the 60s or 70s or 90s or whatever it is. I think about this Wagner type, right? Ride of the Valkyrie. I think it's some bad, awesome stuff, that this operatic, intense music that has lightning coming out of it. That's what I think about.
Oh, yeah,
with
there's
this
certain songs that pop into my head too that I automatically think about the Corps and their battles, right?
Totally.
That's right.
And this is the song that's in my head.
So if you got a dude in the Corps that's kind of moving himself above,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
You
man.
gotta raise the bar on the. You can't just be, Halls of Montezuma. That's so played out. It's crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Team Never Quit podcast, Jose Sanchez. Brother, welcome to the show.
Fuck yeah. Love it. The shit we need is to come breaking through doors and shit and have that fucking.
I was about to say, hold on, man. I'm gonna drop down and do some push-ups real fast, dude.
Right?
Oh,
Where's my
how's that?
sword?
Does that work for you, buddy?
That fuck definitely works, man. Drives up real good.
All right, cool. So, man, it is such a privilege to have you on the show with us, Jose. Thank you so much for taking time out of your insane schedule, and I'm sure we're interrupting one of your 25 workouts a day for sure. But we are
Appreciate
so.
y'all having me.
Yeah, we really. I tell you, I work with the Boston Red Sox, and man, when you first ran the Boston Marathon and back after the bombing, and you carried that flag through the whole race, it was one of the proudest moments that I can remember. Not only being of the armed forces, but just what you represented as an amputee running that marathon that year. It's just unbelievable, brother. It's such a privilege having you on.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Likewise. Thank you for having me. And it's not my story to hold, but my story to share with others.
Amen. All right. Now, before we get into why you're actually on here, we got to get warmed up. And I know you know about getting warmed up. I know that because you have to. And in order to keep our athletic prowess, or I should say your athletic prowess, the Wizards probably around similar with you. But in order for, we have to do what, Marcus? We got to get limbered up.
brain matter going.
We gotta get that. We gotta get the gray matter firing, right? That prefrontal
good.
cortex. So what we do is we do something called the Mad Minute. Now these questions are gonna be the most complicated questions ever fired at you. Are you ready for the Mad Minute, Jose?
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
All right, Marcus, fire away.
All right, favorite movie character you'd like to play out in real life?
Bane. Batman.
That was on the tip of the tongue right there.
Oh, literally fired that off.
That's a good one.
That's a great one. No one's gone to that way.
No one's gone Bane.
That was awesome. Wizard.
I've seen some of those Instagram photos with the face mask.
He looks like Bane, doesn't he,
right?
when he's going hard
Moving
like
in
that.
that direction.
That's awesome. All right, Wizard, go.
All right, we're on the topic. You're a CrossFit fitness kind of guy. So do you have a favorite workout or particular exercise, or give us like your most hated exercise ever?
Called WODs. I remember that.
Thank you, Marcus.
I remember that.
Yeah. So I would say my favorite exercise would be deadlifting. Fuck yeah. Deadlifting.
Your strength.
Yeah, that's my bread and butter right there, man.
And which is pretty remarkable too, since considering you only got one leg.
Yeah.
I know, that's one thing I was thinking about, man. This guy does me, and hands down, I've been racking my brain since even when I was young, right? And he does things better and faster than I did with two of my legs. Which is amazing in itself that there are people out there that are just so exceptional that when we're in there, like, yeah, that dude. Bane, and I was just thinking about it, part Terminator, part Bane. That's him.
That's him. That's Jose for sure. I love it. All right, here you go. If you could go back in time and participate in any Marine Corps battle and any time during history, what battle would you want to be a part of?
You already know that one, the fucking Battle of Iwo Jima.
Yeah!
Taking the fucking
I love it.
How about that?
I love it,
yeah,
man.
fuck yeah.
Marcus.
All right, this is an homage to the Gunny. What was his best role?
Nice, good question.
Fucking Full Metal Jacket.
This is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine. What's your favorite line, then? Do you have a favorite line?
No, I think that dude was just all crazy all in the movie, man. It's just one of those things, that gunny mentality there.
Yeah. Did you have any gunnies that were like that?
Yeah, I had a few of them, like some gun-ho fucking gunnies, always in my ass and shit, chewing me out and shit like that, man. Gun-ho, but yeah, I encountered a couple of them.
I bet. All right, Wizard, go for it.
All right, we asked Christina this question. If you could give your prosthetic leg an upgrade with one of the following, which would you choose? Number 1, double as a squad automatic weapon. Number 2, a chainsaw. Number 3, a leaf blower. Number 4, a rocket-assisted pogo stick. Or number 5, a gecko foot.
Motherfucking automatic rifle, man.
It wasn't even a question.
Yeah, definitely, man. All day, every day.
What did Christy pick?
I think she picked the pogo stick.
You could strap a grenade launcher on the bottom of it. We can pick him up on our shoulders and blast that son of a bitch out of there.
There you go. What did Kirsty put?
She went with the rocket-assisted pogo stick.
She did, but she was a door gunner, though. Jose wants to smoke people. I love it. All right, here you go. If you could be president for one day and do something that goes into law, that changes something, and it happens immediately and sticks, what would be that decision and what would you get done?
I think it would be fucking like everything we could to fucking support our veterans, man. Just something just to be like, look, motherfucking veterans are a priority. You know what I mean? That priority on veterans to acknowledge them, like the reason and the why we are here today is because of fucking veterans, past, present, and motherfucking future. So I would make that a fucking statement.
Awesome.
There you go.
Awesome.
Nice.
I love it. Absolutely awesome. All right, Marcus.
All right, your favorite dive bar?
Dive bar, shit. Okinawa, Japan. We had a couple of them over there. Shit.
Oh, yeah. You're going on that side of it.
I spent so much time in that dive bar, I don't even remember the name of that motherfucker.
Dive bar.
Yeah.
Perfect. Dive bar.
Dive bar.
Okinawa, Japan. I love it.
That whole place was a dive bar, man.
Right.
Yeah, it is. All right, Wizard.
All right, give us one person you admire for their physical ability and one person you admire for their mental ability.
I'm gonna have to say my mom, man. You know, growing up, I saw her grinding, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So I got all my first hand knowledge from her. Just seeing her grind and push through on her adversities, subconsciously. In retrospect, like I think that instilled my work ethic as a young kid. Not knowing the fact that it impacted me, but learning later on, like where the fuck do I get this drive or this work ethic? It's just looking at her throughout my years growing up.
Amen. Here's to your mom.
I come from a matriarchal family too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Marcus, why don't you fire last question at him, and then we'll get going here.
And I think you might have already answered this one when we played out with Bane, but your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero? Shit, I'll probably be Batman, man. You know what I mean? Clever motherfucker. But
He is, right?
you know,
Human too, man.
Yeah, human and shit like that. But the thing with him that resonates with me very well is that pain that drove him to do what he did and what he does. You know what I mean? It's kind of similar to what I have experienced and why I do what I've done. You know what I mean? It's that fucking pain. You know what I mean? That's fucking driven me today. So
wow.
It kind of resonates.
Every time we refer to you from now on, it's going to be the Batman.
Yeah, right. Well, I love that, you know, and this is the perfect segue into getting into the truth of our show and what we're here for, Jose, is about that pain, right? And we talk about that pain constantly on the show. David Goggins, he talked about growing up with parents that were both addicts, and we talk about other people we've had on that had their struggles in life and where they came from, and it's that perpetual pain in our lives that, if utilized properly, can turn into these great motivators, these great ignition points for us to embrace that fear, to embrace that pain, and to turn us into something we've always dreamed of. So that's why our listeners come, to hear those stories. So Jose, if you could, my man, would you please share your greatest never quit story or stories with our listeners?
All right. So I'm sure you get a couple of these, or quite often, the never quit stories. But I'm going to tell you a different side of my own story that I think subconsciously had affected me at that moment and have propelled me to where I'm at today. So we'll flash back 2011 in October, about 4 weeks from coming back home. I'm working with the British and the ANA out in Afghanistan, Helmand Province. We're going to conduct a routine patrol that day. Motherfucking ANA didn't want to go out because they were scared, because they knew that, you know, the guys were out there fucking already laced with IEDs and getting ready for attack. So they're fucking scared shitless. But as fucking Marines and Americans and shit like that, and with the Brits, we were just like, look, this is what the fuck we do all day, every day. We got to lead by example and go out there and still show presence. And we did that. We went out there, ANA stayed behind. We were already getting chatter over the radio that, hey, Americans are coming, get ready. So we're already fucking on high alert, you know, head on swivel, fucking people's fucking ready on that motherfucker. And, you know, first squad pushed out, clearing an area compound. They pushed over to the compound. My squad held fast as rear security. They progressed forward. They got there. Then we were going to link up. I'm going. We waved those in. We're going, you know what I mean? Looking left and right. As soon as I looked at my captain's eyes, that's when I felt like a fucking bang, man. Like somebody, like a linebacker just came out of nowhere and fucking blindsided me.
Wow.
I wasn't sure what was happening. I just heard fucking ringing in my ears, smoke all over the fucking place. I knew something was happening. I knew we were under attack, but I wasn't sure what was going on. I was dazed and confused. You know, the death settled, you know, from Iraq and everything, our rules of engagement. We're like, hey, fucking small arms fire, getting ready for a re-attack, daisy chain IEDs, a follow-up attack, sniper fire. So I had picked up my M4, assisting the situation, and finding positive identification, all that fucking, that jazz, yeah? Mm-hmm. And then the smoke settles, and I'm there fucking not understanding what's going on, but I knew we were under attack. And I'm looking left and looking right. I didn't see fucking nobody. I didn't see none of the Marines I was with. I didn't see none of the British. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Where's everyone at? And I'm just waiting for a reattack. And I was like, what the fuck's happening? And then I looked down and I see my legs covered in blood. And at that point, I was just like, fuck. I stepped on a fucking IED, or IED went off on me. And I was just like, motherfucker. And at that point in time, I just felt like a fucking failure. You know what I mean? I felt like, fuck.
Wow.
And I didn't see anybody. I didn't see nothing. Nothing was happening. And then I was fucking like very fucking disappointed, man. And I just felt like you know what? Just to fucking be blunt about it, like a fucking loser, dude. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. I fucked up. But there was that one point in time where I was just like, fuck this. This is when I started feeling the fucking pain come through. You know what I mean? My body started burning up. I was uncomfortable. I was just like fucking 2 weeks from coming home. I was just like, fuck this. This was, we're out here doing this shit. I was already fed up with with everything was happening. I felt like a failure. I was fed up with this fucking deployment. I was just like, fuck this. This was the second war from Iraq. You know what I mean? Coming on here, I was just like, this is bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And then in my head, dude, I just wanted to end. I just wanted for everything to fucking stop. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go on anymore. You know,
in that moment, right there,
yes.
You were like, I wish it would be over right now.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, the PPE, like, hey, don't take your Kevlar, don't take your flak jacket off because of reattack and a sniper fire, potential threat. Hey, Roger, I know that. I was just like, fuck this. You know what I mean? I just want to die in peace. I don't want to fucking, you know, I was just thinking about myself and ending the pain. I just wanted it to cease.
Well, hey,
so
I'm sorry
consciously.
What did you step on? Do you know what it was?
Yeah, shit. Like it was. I'm not sure what it was. I didn't get the report back. Probably a pressure plate because we had ECM. We had all these countermeasures there, man.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Shit, I don't fucking know, man. But it fucking got my number though.
Wow.
And so I was there, and I knew the potential threats and the potential outcome if I would have taken my Kevlar, my flak jacket off. And I made a conscious decision to fucking take it off because I wanted it to end. And I took off my Kevlar and I took off my flak jacket and I waited. I waited for fucking just to die in peace, man. I waited for death to come.
Wow.
And what seemed as eternity, that fucking death never came, dude.
It didn't.
I was just like, fuck. Yeah, it did. It didn't fucking come. You know, I quit. I gave up. I just wanted to die in peace. I was prepared for it, but it never came.
Did you at any point, I don't mean to jump in, Jose, because what I'm hearing is all those triage lines of everything just popped in your brain. Was one of them the application of a tourniquet? Did you know that you had lost a limb? Did you know? And in that moment, you were conscientious and say, I'm not putting tourniquets on right now?
No, you know, right after I got hit, you know, I was assisting the situation and searching for follow-up. I was looking for positive identification. You know, right when I got hit, I picked up my M4 and I was searching, and I was looking, you know, and I didn't see anything. And then that's when it started changing over. I didn't see anybody. I didn't see anyone where everybody fucking went. And then after that, that's when all this shit started playing in my head.
Okay.
Like, oh fuck! I looked down on my legs. I was fucked up. I was full of blood. I know I stepped on IED. I know I was able to move one leg. The other one I couldn't move. And then that's when all this shit started flooding in my head and my mind. So at that point, I took out my Kevlar, took out my flak, and I was waiting for death to come, and it fucking never did. And I kind of knew that it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. So what the fuck do I gotta do now? That's when I reached over to get my tourniquet. I was like, well, fuck, I might as well just put a tourniquet on. I mean, just do some shit, you know what I mean? So that's when
kill the boys. Got bored here. I'm gonna kill it. Do something.
I gotta do some shit. You know what I mean? Fuck, I guess this motherfucker ain't coming. You know what I mean? So I started grabbing my tourniquet, opening it up, and then out of nowhere, we have two Brits coming up. And once, hey mate, you're all right. They're like fucking spazzing out, like, oh shit. They were all fucking freaking out. One popped me with some morphine, And then we're gonna medevac you out, mate, and we're gonna get you out of safety. One of the guys fucking picked me up from my arms. The other guy picked me up by my legs. As soon as they picked me up, I just saw my leg detached from my body. And I was like, fucking shit. And I was just like, dude, just fucking put me down. Go put me down and put me on the litter. So I ordered them to, hey, go get me a litter. The stretcher to fucking put me on there and extract me that way. The dudes were just fucking fumbling around, and I kind of felt bad for them. I guess at that point I was just like, fuck it, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna die. We're here. You know what I mean?
I might as well just chill.
Medevac me properly. Yeah.
Right.
Get comfortable.
Do this, grab that. Yeah. Give me this shit. Blah blah blah, and let's go. So they brought the litter, the stretcher. They fucking put me on there, and they were gonna haul ass already. I was like, no man, give me my fucking leg. You know what I mean? That motherfucker.
Jesus.
That was my leg for like 20 fucking something years, man. I was not gonna leave
I
without
want
it.
that
I
thing.
don't want to leave that here.
He'd probably be upset if I left him behind. You want to grab him?
No, give me my leg, man. So the bread, he picked up the leg and he gave it to me, and I was holding my leg and I just put it next to me. I mean, I was like, fuck, maybe they could reattach it. I mean, I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? But I'm taking this motherfucker with me, and we're going, man. And the train was all fucking crazy. We all fell down, and then my fucking leg rolled over, and it was just going down the fucking hill. I was like, fuck, man, what the fuck?
Oh
but
my
the dudes
God.
were so crazy that they were just like, hey, got me out and fucking took me. I was like, what the fuck, my leg, man? Take care of my shit, you know what I mean? And they extracted me. But yeah, they got me to wherever I need, but my leg stayed over there. So I've always wondered what the fuck happened to my leg. It's probably some fucking Afghan's fucking diner table or some shit, man. You know what I mean? We hang up fucking deers. Yeah, we hang up deers on our wall, man. They got a fucking leg, U.S. Marine leg or some
They
shit.
got a Marine leg on the wall.
Damn right. Still got the boot laced up, and his camis
This is
tucked in.
The digitals, the digital camera. Oh,
digital.
Jose.
Yeah, but no, and that motherfucker had the dog tag in it. I was like, good. You know what? That's why we fucking have dog tags on our boots, man. Just for that case, right? Just right there, like that shit.
Oh my God.
Hey, if we ever do make it back in that area and we're going around, be like, hey, that's my shit.
Hey, I know whose leg that is, dude.
Right
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Is we're gonna have to go back in there and fight one day, right? Or if we
Totally.
don't ever stop.
Yeah.
So your son or your great grandson could theoretically go back in there and find it.
It gets the lamp,
Yeah,
the leg lamp.
Get it back.
Oh, God bless. All right. This is incredible. So the Brits, they structured the medevac. Where were your guys in all this?
Well, we're
how many people got hit?
Man, we're JTAC. So we were at the FIC, the forward fire team. So
Okay.
it was just a JTAC and myself, and we're attached to the Brits. So it was just me and another Marine.
Oh,
so
you're a forward observer for them. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yeah.
Right on.
Radio operator with
cool.
them with First Anglico.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right. So you got back. Did they take you back to Lashkar Gah right there, and where did they fly? They fly you directly to Bagram? Where?
We went back to Bastion. That's
Okay.
where we worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bastion and there, and then I think they were trying to get me under and shit like that, but I guess I kept on fighting it, and they said I fucking took most of their fucking morphine and shit like that to sedate me and shit like that, keep me down. But I guess I kept on fucking waking up. I remember I was in the bed and I woke up and I had this fucking piece of pipe in me, I guess, to help me breathe. I was just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But yeah, it was there. Then after that, yeah, I was just like, dude, what the fuck's happening? I couldn't sleep, man. I couldn't sleep after that. Like, no matter what they did, like I couldn't fall asleep, or they couldn't put me under, man. I was just awake and vigilant. I was just like, what the fuck? I was in pain. I was just distressed. And finally from there, they took me over to Germany, from Germany back to here, actually home, San Antonio, Texas.
So in this process, Jose, when did the part start settling in? Like, okay, wow, my life is changed now. And when did that sense of that spirit that you learned from your mom. And if you could, maybe share a little bit about your mom and how she taught you and when that started to take root in this process. Because I've watched a bunch of your videos that you've got some wonderful videos that are available on YouTube that talk a little bit more, you know, about the story, about when did all that start happening?
Well, okay, so I fucking, you know, like a never quit story. That fucking was, I fucking quit. So that internally was haunting me subconsciously somewhere. I went home. I was back at the hospital. You know, I was okay. I just wanted, the first thing I said when I was in the bed was like, I want to fucking hit up the gym. You know, I can't wait to get up to the gym and start fucking beasting this motherfucker and do it. And that's just because it was everyday routine. You know what I mean? That was our fucking life. That was our fucking profession, is to be professionally fit and professionally fuck some shit up. Yeah. So it was just like, hey, I'm gonna still do the same shit. You know what I mean? I gotta go hit up the gym, blah blah blah. So I was just like ready to hit it up. You know, I hit the ground running. You know, I was in the wheelchair. They finally fucking controlled, you know, the pain, and I was ready to go. But it didn't dawn on me. I think I was okay because they're pumping me full of fucking morphine and drugs and fucking like shit for your emotions and shit like that. Right. You know what I mean? Celexa and shit for depression. So I was just fucked up, all right? Like with a whole bunch of shit. So maybe that's why I was just fucking happy or some shit. I don't fucking know. But it didn't hit me until I fucking went home. So I was a knucklehead growing up, you know, in and out of trouble, even fucking creating the trouble, running in and out those fucking front door of my home late at night, early in the morning, going out to a fucking party, going out to this shit, that shit. But when I went back home, I had to walk through those doors, not fucking walking, but in the fucking wheelchair. And that's when it fucking snapped. That's what that fucking trigger just flickered on, man. Right. And I realized like, oh shit, I'm fucked up, dude. I'm not the same motherfucker that I used to be. Like, I'm coming back home in the damn fucking wheelchair. Like, my family has to reorganize a bunch of shit so they could accommodate me. I feel like a fucking burden. I can't fucking walk, you know what I mean? And I'm missing a leg. So that's when it started dawn on me, like, fuck, I'm fucked up, man. Wow. And at that point in time, you know how your moms, they make fucking food, they make the spread, and we're like, fuck yeah, we just go eat, blah blah blah. Yeah. But I sensed and I felt like slowly but surely there was this fucking cloud coming over my head. Oh, wow. And I felt like I was slowly being withdrawn from reality, slowly but surely just closing off. And I didn't want to talk to anyone. I literally was shutting down, and I didn't want to eat. And I was just quiet that whole evening. And they were like, "Wait, man, what's going on? You all right?" I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then I went home. I went back to the Fisher house. That's where we were staying. And from that mentality of, oh, I want to go out to the gym, I want to fucking beast it. Now, after going home, realizing that I'm fucked up and I'm different, things were changing for me. Wow. I didn't understand what was happening. At that point, I was just like, I didn't want to work out. I wasn't hungry. I felt distant, and those were the emotions. And these emotions, these foreign emotions, were just fucking invading my mind. And I was not sure what the fuck was happening to me. I've never experienced this. And I was just like, dude, what the fuck is happening to me? And I got deeper and deeper into this fucking hole. Depression. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you at any point, from what it sounds like, it had happened rapidly too. As soon as you got home, it's just all of a sudden now you're in the abyss, so to speak, where, you know, like what, and that from all the guys that, and I work a lot with veterans charities and vets, we all do. And you know, it's like, and I know I experienced a little bit myself too, that place where it's like, man, I don't know who I am right now, but the stigmatism of not wanting to ask for help was so overwhelming that I just stayed in the hole myself for a long period. Is that what you were experiencing too? That you didn't want to ask for help? You didn't want to expose it? Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I didn't understand what was happening in my mind. I've never felt any type of feelings like that ever throughout my fucking career growing up. Like, no, fuck no. I've always been an energetic motherfucker, like liking to fuck shit up, physical, like motivating motherfuckers. And then now I was just like, dude, what the fuck am I thinking? What are these foreign thoughts going through my head? I had no idea what the fuck was happening. At one point I asked somebody like, hey, I guess I was wheelchairing my way to physical therapy or some shit. And I asked somebody like, hey, I'm not feeling right. Like something's up with me. I don't want to eat. I don't want to fucking do this. I feel distant, blah, blah. I was just explaining like, this is what's happening. And that person told me, you're experiencing depression, anger, and a whole fucking bucket list of shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's fucking crazy. I've never experienced that shit. And I think hearing that fucked me up even more. Yeah. So I was just like, oh shit. I think I shut down even more. I was like, oh fuck. I didn't know how to fucking handle it. So the only thing I knew how to do, like going out of war, being in Iraq, being in Afghanistan, what do you do with those fucking fears, those feelings? You just suppress them. You know what I mean? I think that's what I did. I just like, fuck that. I heard that and I just suppressed it. I didn't know what to do. I just buried that motherfucker deep down and I just suppressed that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like real quick.
Yeah.
All right. At what point then in
Where did
this
it start turning? Yeah.
Yeah. How far did it go with it? Was it months? Was it years? And then at what point? What was the turn? What was the flip that all of a sudden like pulled you out of the hole?
So this is going on like, okay, we're like 2 weeks when I was like, fuck yeah, I want to beast it, to that third week, like going home and like, oh shit, something's going on. And then 2 weeks into that shit, I guess it started affecting the people around me. I guess me being closed off and in that darkness affected the people around me. And I just started doing shit that wasn't normal. But for me, I was just being normal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And my actions pushed my family away at that point in time. And, I was going through surgery still to save my right leg because my right leg was fucked up. It was a limb salvage leg, so I was in and out of surgeries. So my actions pushed my family away. And in doing so, I was still going in fucking operations and nobody was there for me. And I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? I pushed people away and I fucking started blaming others. I was just like, fuck you. I don't need you. You know what I mean? In my head. And then I started getting fucking angry. And I started getting pissed off at other people and not looking at myself. Like I was the problem. I was like, you're fucked up. Fuck you. You fucking left me here in the Fisher house and I'm in this fucking wheelchair. I can't even fucking get up and get food or wash my fucking clothes, get into bed, get out of bed. And I'm fucking willing my ass to fucking surgery like 2-3 times and shit like that. And I'm here to defend for myself. So I got fucking pissed off, dude. I was like, fuck you.
Wow.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And I used that anger and I was so pissed off. I was like, fuck that motherfucker. Like, I'm not going to depend on no motherfucking body. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be vulnerable. I'm not going to be in this fucking state ever again. So I was pissed the fuck off, man. I was so fucking pissed off and angry. I was like, fuck this. I'm just going to work hard. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I could do to get off this fucking wheelchair and prove you fucking wrong and be like, fuck you. I don't need your fucking help or support. And that was like within like 2 months of where I was at. And I fucking hit the ground running with that shit, with that fucking drive.
It's really interesting, and I don't mean to cut you off because I hear a lot of that with guys like us or guys within the combative sports arena or athletes that hit a point where they do feel isolated and alone, that they'll flip it around and that chip on their shoulder by not being able to be self-aware of that isolation that we're portraying. But then they get that chip and it's like, man, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. And that becomes the driver. And it's a very common tool people use to get going. How long did you go with that before all of a sudden you're like, hey, man, I need my family in my life. I need to reevaluate my attitude. I need to say, I no longer say, get out of here. I don't want you, but hey, I need you. Come in my life.
Yeah, good fucking point, man. I smile because you've been there. You've heard the stories, man.
Yep.
Exactly. Man, I resonate with that shit, man. But so my anger drove me. I was like that for the first year. I was just driven by anger.
A whole year?
I kept on pushing. Yes, sir.
Wow.
I kept on pushing, and harder each day. Trying to get 1 inch, trying to stand up more than 30 seconds, trying to walk more than 2 feet. So every day was an inch, every day was a second. And the more I pushed, the more I would fuck my leg up. I would go in and out of surgeries. At the end of this time, I had like 6 fucking surgeries in this fucking, the first 3 months.
Is that on your, recovering. Is that on the leg you kept, or is that on the leg that was amputated?
That's the leg that I kept.
Okay.
Because I was just like driven by this fucking anger and this pain. I was just like, fuck that. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I just wanted to move, get stronger and get healthier and just get out of that fucking wheelchair. And this went on 2012, all of 2012, all of 2013, and then all of 2014.
Wow.
I was just motivated by fucking pain. Yeah, I shut down all my social media. I was just like, fuck everyone, fuck this. I just lived day in and day out in this fucking gym, man. That was just my fucking drive.
Are you married at this point?
Yeah, good question.
No, I was married and I was going through the divorce. So when I got injured, I was married with my daughter. She was 2. I pushed them away through my actions, and they left me, my daughter and my wife. They left me there at the Fisher House. And it was my fault, man. It wasn't their fault. But at that point in time, I was like, it's you. Fuck you. You left me here. You know what I mean? And I was pissed off. And I'm going through the divorce. I'm going through this pain and angry fucking point in time of my life. You know, the divorce, even in itself, is just like, fuck, we're always fighting. Like, we're always arguing about some shit. And I'm getting even more fucking angry and pissed the fuck off. And I'm going in and out of surgeries. I'm trying to rehabilitate my own self, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on in my mind. So it's a fucking mess, dude, in my mind and everywhere. I was just like, fuck, man, this is some bullshit, you know? I was just, I was getting fucked up at every which angle, man. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you? I don't mean to interrupt, but I think the you talking about anger is a critical thing, because I know all my buddies out there that are struggling. I know when I was struggling the most, anger is the way we're preconditioned to, to go towards these issues. Can you describe the anger was a little bit for our listeners, because so many people get angry, and it is overwhelming to them. Can you talk about that anger, and did it ever, like, was it just you woke up, you were angry all through the day, you were angry at night, you were angry? Was there ever a time when it subsided? When did you feel good? When did the anger go away? Just talk a little bit about it.
Yeah. So this anger, I felt it when I woke up. You know what I mean? It never went away. It grew each day. I woke up, I was pissed off. I was fucking mad. I was just ticked off at little shit. I was angry. It was up to a point where I felt this anger. It was just like a fucking ball of blackness within me.
Oh.
And I felt it. You know what I mean? Like, I literally felt it. And every time it would just grow each day. And I would just suppress it, and I actually kind of fucking nurtured it, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I felt it. And there was days like I even fucking told, like, I said a prayer, like, hey, fucking God, just help me get through this day. You know what I mean? Because it was just so fucked up. Like, I was just help me get through this day and let me survive another day. You know what I mean? But this anger was just like being pissed off at the world, blaming everybody for your situation, being like aware of maybe of people like, looking down on me, pitying me, feeling sorry for me. I was just like, everyone was a fucking enemy to me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, I don't want them to look at me or feel sorry for me. You know, even with my injuries, with my prosthetic and my limb salvage, I was even ashamed and embarrassed of my legs. You know, I covered up. I didn't want nobody to see my scars. You know what I mean? I didn't want nobody to know that I was injured physically or injured mentally. And it's just this darkness, this blackness that you just feel inside your fucking body, man. It's just there. I have no idea how to explain it, but it's this fucking darkness that just black matter. I don't fucking know, dude. That you feel it in your fucking heart and your thing. And it was to a point where that motherfucker started spewing out. I remember when I was driving, and just going from the gym or leaving from the gym, I don't fucking know. And some dude just fucking honked at me or some shit for just to move out the way or do some shit. And I got fucking pissed. I slammed on the brakes. I got the fuck out. And I confronted the car. I guess the dude was still in this fucking car and drive. And I was beating on his fucking door, wanting to fucking fight. I wanted to create fucking havoc.
Yeah.
I wanted fucking just unleash that fucking anger. And that's when I was like, fuck, dude, this shit, I can't control it anymore. This motherfucker's taking over me now. And that's when I realized, like, shit, like this motherfucker is getting, it's overgrowing me, you know?
So what did you do?
Alive. Yeah. So in this, there's a transition coming here where you use this in a different way. Is this where this begins, or when was that?
Well, when I knew that this anger was there. I knew it was like, oh shit, this was happening. But through some way, somehow, I caught wind of something happening. I guess messaging someone or through an email that one of my Marines that I served with in Afghanistan wanted to commit suicide.
Oh wow!
He was going down in a downward spiral, and he fucking wasn't doing good. And I was like, how the fuck is this motherfucker going in that route? Like, why is he contemplating suicide and all this shit? Like, that motherfucker has all his limbs. What the fuck's his problem? You know what I mean? But right. I didn't understand. There's this thing called fucking survivor's guilt, and he blamed himself for what the fuck happened to me.
Oh wow!
And I was like, how the fuck does that even? I didn't understand that, but it was another fucking switch in my head, man. Like, oh shit! It made me realize, like, fuck. This whole time, I'm thinking about myself. I'm being selfish. I'm just trying to get out of this fucking wheelchair, trying to get stronger, trying to fucking not depend on nobody. And I felt to realize these other motherfuckers are hurting just as bad as I am. They're in fucking pain too, you know? And I was like, fuck, dude. And I remember a while back when I was going through my own rehabilitation back in 2011, 2012. Mind you, this is already 2014. Mm-hmm. The guy sent me a fucking box.
Right.
But I never fucking wanted to acknowledge it or look at it. And then I went back and I opened up this box. And in the box, there's letters. And then in it, there's a fucking American flag. And I opened up the American flag, and it was fucking signatures of all the guys I served with in Afghanistan. You know, and it was like, hey, this is for, for Sanchez. It was flown over the areas of operation in Helmand Province. Through this time frame to this time frame, and it had all the fucking guys I served with motivational quotes of like, hey, fucking keep beasting it, do your thing, get well soon. And I felt to fucking recognize that, man. So I had pushed that shit away, just like I pushed everyone away. I was like, fuck community, fuck family, fuck military, fuck the Marines, and that's where I was. And I never fucking acknowledged that box, and up until that point, and I was like, fuck, dude. You know, when I got fucked up in Afghanistan, when I stepped on IED, that's how I felt. Like, fuck, I let these motherfuckers down again, man. It's emotion. Yeah, dude, it's fucking, it's emotional, man, to fucking feel that shit, dude. So.
Right. One of the things, Jose, that I used to go through as well is, I went through a situation where I felt that guilt as well too, man. And I used to call these guys in the middle of the night. I'd be annihilated. I'd be drunk as shit, and I'd call them, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry," and all this, and I couldn't do more, and finally, man, it was just like coming to the realization when you realize in your heart that your boys, they love you no matter what. And for me, that was the big wake up call where I finally was just like, war is fucking hell, man. And when you all can understand that we exist within that collective pain of war, and we all love each other through the pain and through the anger, and when you can visualize it, when you can see it, and in particular, when you can feel it from one another, man, it's that release that comes over you. Man, it's that peace, right? When did you start feeling that peace come over you?
Well, it wasn't until when I saw that flag, I wanted to know that, hey, fuck, it wasn't about me anymore. It was about them. and how can I show my gratitude and be and honor them and give back what I've taken so much over these years of all that. Me pushing everyone away and not acknowledging their sacrifices and their dedication. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? So I made a choice at that point in time to fly that flag again and to run with that motherfucking flag. And I chose to run the Marine Corps Marathon in 2015, start to finish, with the flag in their honor. I didn't know how to give back to them, but to do that in their honor. You know what I mean? And I did that. And that shit fucked me up, man. I couldn't stand up more than 20 seconds, 30 seconds. I couldn't walk more than 2 feet. I was grinding in the gym, but I never fucking ran. I never fucking walked or anything. Right. It was all static weight, but I wanted to do this in their honor. So that kind of, my focus now wasn't with me, but honoring them. And trying to show and share my own story that what was happening to me, because I didn't want them to fucking feel that they were going through this dark and this child period in their life. Like, you could overcome those adversities and shit like that. So my focus was on them now. And I did that. I did the Marine Corps Marathon with doing that shit. That fucking hurt, dude. I ran it in some Converse. You know what I mean? Because I believe in Converse all day, every day. You know?
I love that. I love that you wear Cons, that you ran that in Cons,
and,
man.
And you know, I was in there, I was like, hit the ground running, and that fucking fucked me up. And I was like a mile 12, 13, and I just wanted to quit because it fucked me up, man. Like, mentally and spiritually, I was driven for them. This was it for them. Yeah. And it fucking hurt, dude. I was in pain. It was fucking agony pain for me, dude. It fucking hurt me. And then that's when there was this lady that came up to me and started talking to me, and she was saying, "Hey, how you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. And just fucking lady wouldn't leave me alone. Like, she's walking with me and she's asking me questions. She's sharing me her story and why she's running. And I was like, what the fuck, lady? Like, what the fuck do you want? You know what I mean? Like, I want to quit. You know what I mean? I want to give up. I want to go home. And I'm like, fuck it. At least I attempted and I tried it. But long story short, we fucking finished it walking. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was fucked up, but we finished it like in like 7 hours. Everybody had gone. Everybody left. But we fucking finished that run. And she was there alongside me. And that's when I started opening up my eyes even more to the community. I was like, fuck community, fuck everyone. So now I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I got to support my military motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Yeah. And honor them. And now the community member fucking helped me. Like, fuck, you know what I mean? I started believing in the community. So I was like, oh shit, slowly but surely, like, everything started falling into place. You know what I mean? Like, why? Cause and effect, reason and why. Like, what is this all fucking happening? When I was like, fuck you, and fuck you, I'm just like, fuck, dude. I failed to realize you're in pain. I failed to realize how important the fucking community it is. You know what I mean? For me to be, to get through that shit.
Amen.
So that's when it started opening my eyes, my heart, and my spirit. You know what I mean? And then that's when my drive started coming to more. So 2015, that's when I started doing social media, sharing my story, doing this crazy shit. It'll be like overcome your own adversities through this crazy shit that I do, trying to share and try to motivate and inspire one another. And that's how I kept on going. And I was like, fuck it, you know what I mean? I'm never going to do a fucking marathon again, but I was like, fuck, I got to go to Boston 2016 and show these like the Boston Bombers, like, hey,
famous last
we're resilient. Like, we're going to keep on standing the fuck up. We're not going to be deterred. We're not going to be afraid. I'm going to do this for you all to show that unity, to show that we're fucking stronger now than we ever fucking been before. And that's how I started going, for others, for the brothers and sisters that I serve with, for the community members, for the people that were in pain, that I've knew the pain for so long. I wanted to share my pain with others that, pain brings us together. But Amen. At the end of the day, we fucking rise from that motherfucker. You know what I mean? So that's how I started playing a part.
I love it. Marcus, you when you got out and they started putting that book came out and they started putting you on and you started telling the stories to honor our brothers, did you feel that sense of the inspiration right off the bat for people too?
As he was going along, I was trying to think about my own I've never tried to put it into perspective, so I'll try and lay it out right now. My situation is kind of unique because after I got hurt, I got to go back and then kind of got hurt again. But what I think happens to a lot of the guys, man, when they get hurt, immediately have to get out.
Yeah.
There's something that happens, right? Because your mind and body was Marine Corps ready. And then those of us who fight in wars, it's a different kind of mentality altogether. It's ingrained in us. So the mind and the body work so well together. And so, it has to be so tight just in order to survive. Mm-hmm. So when you get hit, man, your body just immediately shut down. It's not Marine Corps ready anymore, but your mind is, right? And the body actually needs to go backwards to that place to where those are equal in order to calm down and come off the line and originally inevitably become a civilian, right? It didn't have time to mentally and physically do that. The body is an awesome mechanism. And I think what happens is, and I think that's where the anger comes from, because it's also your body telling your mind, like, I still want to do this, man. I can do this. Let's go. Let's get up. Let's move. And then guys who realize that their body is capable of a lot more, like you did, that anger actually becomes motivation, man. And you got the guys who get hurt and have the prosthetics and you kind of are ashamed of that. Look, our people are great. They invented those prosthetics because they're badass, right? And you look fucking cool. If they wanted to make fun of us, they wouldn't invent that stuff. They leave us jacked up. You know what I'm talking about? And it's one of them deals where it's called, like the hit, the hurt, and help, right? You take the hit, man. After that, you're going through the hurt. Your body trying to realign with your mind. And then once you figure out that by taking the pain for those who can't, man, that's the help. That's a reward in itself, and that is a job. It's actually like being back in the military. It's a routine, because you have to go through a routine every single day to do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I know you're out there and you're taking pain, I'll take it with you. Matter of fact, I'll take it for you. And for those of my buddies that died up on the mountain, and that honor that is bestowed upon them, man, I'm going to keep taking the pain so I can be with them. I can be a part of them at all times. And it's not anger anymore, man. It becomes a calm, like a complete peace. And because I got hurt, and then my teammates were all I ever had. A lot of people, when they come in the military, they have special skills, right? And the training they get in the military just adds to that. I didn't have any of that crap. Every little piece of me is exactly the training I got and what was given to me by our people. And like when you get hit, like, how did you react? What goes down? What do you guys like? Exactly like I'm trained. I exactly like I trained. And it's that capability that we have that can pull that body out of an injury that people who haven't gone through it can't relate to. And then alienating us from our brothers is the hardest damn thing in the world, man, because they're the ones that understand that pain, because we wear that for every uniform, right? Even the guys that came before us, that we stepped into it, man, they got those stories. That's why it's so incumbent upon us to keep them around and talk to them, to let them know that it's okay if you get hit. Hell, you're a war fighter, man. Those scars are awesome. You need to show them off. I mean, it's like look at what this dude can take. I mean, when you walk into a room and everybody asks about, do they want to hear about those scars, man? They want to hear that story. I mean, it's one of them deals. We have an opportunity because we stand the line to live in a world that no one else does, man. And when you get hit, and that depression and that anger and that darkness, that's because you were touched by death. But he didn't take you. That I call it death's cologne, man. Like a lot of the gunfights that we get into, it's just kind of like the rounds going down range, and then there's the noise. But if there's not usually the fire, but if everything's on fire, your ears are ringing, you've been shot, something's missing, and the dust is flying, people screaming, that means death's standing there. He's there. That's his cologne, man. That's his presence, and he's looking to see which one of you aren't gonna last. It's kind of funny with death, man, because he gives you a choice. He's like, I'm here. Which one of you is going to keep standing up? And those guys who keep getting up and keep pushing, man, a lot of times we still get touched by death. And when we get hurt, we're laying there in our mind, it just eats in there, and it becomes darkness, right? And it's that slowly it eats away at you until you fill up with it, and then it comes out in anger towards our family and the ones we love. That's the darkness. Going and yelling at the people that you love because of something you're going through, which is horseshit. It's actually death inside of you, and that depression, that deep rest that your body's in, man. Once you shake that out and you realize your body can take anything, it's literally the machine that carries your damn brain and your soul, right? It's pumped by your heart. It can take anything, and if it does get removed, we'll put something on you that looks so damn cool you can outdo most Navy SEALs. I mean, at no point in time, man, I've never suffered in my head mentally, because in order to beat me, you got to beat everybody around me, our people. They gave me everything I ever had. In order to beat them, you're going to have to come through me. And if that's the case, you're going to have to kill me. And if I'm dead, I'm not going to know about it anyways. I was designed to take pain. My joy and my honor come from taking pain and bleeding for our people. My greatest honor is when I die, I get to be buried in Texas National Cemetery. You know how cool that is to me? It's those, man, it's just like when it comes time to the dudes who need to get hit for us, that's us. That's what we do. We take the pain. It's our fuel. It's our happiness. It's chaos. It's our utter ability to try and control it. And once you absolutely know that anybody and everybody is capable of something in every realm, it opens up a world that becomes supernatural. I mean,
Amen.
I can't even begin to express how much I love our people and what they've done for me, man. It has just been a damn honor to walk among them and talk to you. I mean, I look at you, you're a freaking warrior, man, and never think otherwise. All that anchor and all that stuff that you had to go through, savor that. Chew on it, man. Let it fester in you sometimes. What gets you up in the morning out of bed, and then when you look at yourself, you're like, you didn't get me. You can't keep me down.
And to serve in that.
Man, dude, to live in that world, that's forever.
God bless.
Man.
Jose, one thing that I love that keeps coming back around and that we talk about all the time on this show is the presence of pain and the power of pain and how to utilize the positive application of pain in our lives to serve others. So can you describe why every day you wake up and do the things you do to inspire? Like, one of my favorite videos you have out there is when you're flipping that tire with that young boy who's got his prosthetic on.
That's badass, dude. Good job.
Talk about serving through pain, if you could, and why you're so charged and what your mission is now with it.
So for so long, you know, we talked about my story. I was driven by pain and anger for so many years, and it started transforming into something different. It started evolving. We continuously progress as people, and we change daily. And what I've learned is like understanding the mind, body, and spirit.
Amen.
When my mind was fucked up, the only thing that propelled me forward was being physically fit. That's all I knew how to do and what to do. While my mind was in pieces, you know, being physically fit kept me living while I put these pieces together. And having that spirit of, you know, doing for others kept me going. So I understood another source of fuel to fuel my drive was physical, spiritual. The mind still was incomplete. But, you know, I was coming through these days where I'm doing all this stuff, but I still felt like there's something missing in my life. There's still, like, my heart wasn't complete. I didn't know what, but I still felt like there's a piece missing.
Purpose.
Until I got a phone call, or I got a message from this gentleman wanting to get back into physical fitness, wanting to get back on the grind. And I was like, well, cool, man, meet me over here. I'll get you going. I didn't know at the time, but he was just wanting to get back into shape. He wanted to do whatever he could. And I knew from talking to him, mentally, spiritually, and physically, he wasn't fit. He wasn't there. But there's somewhere in his mind he wanted to do and get on that ball. And he was willing to do whatever it took. And saying that, I was at this gym. It is like $150 fucking dollars or some shit. And I was like, he wanted to pay for that membership just to be there. And he knew that it was going to fucking burden him and his family. He didn't have the fucking money to do that shit. But he wanted change so much. He was so desperate. He wanted change. He was willing to sacrifice what he had just to make a change in his own life.
Right.
And at that point in time, I was like, oh shit, dude. Like, I had to do something. I had to step up. I had to do something that I've never done before. And that's like, I need to do something for him, for people like that. And that's when I started doing this. I had this vision. Like, I'm going to help people one-on-one through my own fitness. You know, I didn't have fucking money. I had no fucking equipment. And I was like, fuck no, I don't need you to be in that fucking predicament, having to pay so much money and putting your family in jeopardy. You know what I mean? And it taxing yourself. I was like, fuck, I had this vision. I was like, fuck it, I have to do something. And all I had was a fucking jump rope, a sledgehammer, and the motherfucking American flag. I was like, I'm going to start fucking raw fitness. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do it, but fuck it. I'm gonna go to a fucking park and we're gonna start this fitness fucking routine deal. And it was a vision. So we went out there.
This is Rise Above Hardship, correct?
Yes,
We're
sir.
talking about Rise Above Hardship, RAH, Raw Fitness.
Yes, sir. Rise Above Hardship. So at the time, it was just a thing for me to help this one individual. Hey, let's go to a park. You don't have to fucking pay anything. I don't have a lot of equipment, but we'll go to a park and we'll get you battle ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll condition you first of all, and then implement my mind, that spirit into him. What I've learned.
Right.
And we started doing that. And I had another veteran that's like, hey, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but can you come and help me? And we were there. We were grinding. The first day, it was just me, him, and Ramirez. That was his name. And I learned he was a veteran. I was like, oh, shit. That's crazy. So he was a veteran. He was going out there. We started grinding slowly but surely. We had one person show up. You know, the next day we had 2, then 3, then 4. And then the couple of weeks, we had fucking like 20 up to 30 motherfuckers going out there.
Wow.
And then we're generating little donations, and then with those donations, I turned around and got fucking equipment. And doing that, I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I just wanted to help that one person, and it grew out to helping other people, helping first responders and helping the community, and using fitness as a platform to bring veterans and first responders and community together. Remember how I said I was like, fuck community? Like, hey, it was important for community to come together and veterans to come with that community to rely on each other, to work as a fucking team, that cohesiveness and that unity. At that point in time, I didn't know what the fuck was happening, but it started molding and it started creating itself.
Nice.
And then in that turn, with everything that I've encountered, the people that I was like, hey, like that lady that helped me in the Marine Corps Marathon, she knew somebody that was helping us to get a nonprofit going at the same time. So everything fell into place. And what I learned with that is the heart.
Amen.
Is letting love in and allowing love out.
Yeah.
So So the final piece that I was missing was helping others, man. Helping others heals the heart. And that's when everything is fucking equaled out, man. All that hate, all that anger was equaled out with all that love and that joy.
Amen.
So I mean, like, I have a perfect circle now, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. I love it, dude. The fact that you just said love, bro. That is awesome. Yeah. And it isn't a weak love at all, is it? It's the hardest badass love you've ever felt.
Exactly. Like I didn't understand it until I actually felt it. You know what I mean? And doing this, like, before I would do things, I'll be so frustrated going to the gym, doing this, I was driven by anger, but doing what I do now keeps me calm, keeps me like at peace, because I know what I'm doing. That's my motivation now. Amen. Like, I wake up. Why do I get up? It's not because of me. It's not for me. It's for others. It's for others to help them overcome their own adversities, help them, empower them to overcome the challenges that they're facing, instill that mind, body, and spirit concept. And now I believe in the mind, the body, and spirit, and with that, the heart concept. And that fulfills a person. That's fulfilled me. It's taken years to understand that, but I've learned through my own trials and tribulations that this is an actual thing. This heals, man, and it heals the fucking heart. And that's where I'm at today. So my motivation is for others, helping them day in and day out. And that's my fucking drive, and that's what keeps me fucking going.
I dig that.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it gets to the point after a while when you step back into the grind, when helping out our people and the people around us, man, you start to see that each one of us truly are unique, right? Every person is unique. If it's unique, it's precious to us. And that's what, I kind of learned, man, and everybody is unique, and things that are unique are precious to me. And it's kind of a gift, and life is the way to unwrap it throughout time, man. Those situations you get in with people, and it can be good and bad. Everyone thinks it's something good, positive learned in life always has to be a happy moment or something like that. It's not. Wow. Those of us who've learned the most are the ones who've been in the ditch. I had to crawl out of that son of a bitch. You see things from the tires up, right?
Yep.
And it is. There's there's things
and it's
about
through that ditch that you find purpose. It's
Right.
through that pain that you discover the beautiful aspect of what you're talking about, Jose, which is love.
Right.
And to show other people love by saying, hey, go jump in that ditch of pain, go start sweating, go start bleeding, and come out of the ditch, and then you start serving other people. That's the glorious
I think
thing.
by design, as we go along and you figure that out, you covet what you've worked hardest for. When people come in, you're like, hey, you need to earn this. Actually, the love and respect shouldn't be that way, right? Everything else should. You need to earn it. But this one, man, you're going to get this for free. I'm just going to, I'm going to respect you. I ain't going to just, take it from there. But at least open up with that, no matter how bad of a day you got, because you have no idea who you're going to be standing across at any given time, right?
And what they're going through.
Yeah, what they're going through and what they can take and what they can teach you. And, if you kind of come at it like that, like every time you meet somebody, just try and learn something from them, take something from them that's unique about them.
Serve 'em.
Instead of, try to take it for yourself.
Yeah.
Amen. Well, Jose, listen, before we wrap it up here, I got two more things. The first is, what would you say, because we always ask our guests to really to take their core ideas, their core lessons, and try and summarize them in some takeaway for our listeners, because there's somebody that's going to listen to this show that follows you or that has never heard you, never seen you. They're going to hear your passion. They're going to hear you. They're going to relate to that anger, to that pain, and also hopefully relate to that love and the component of servitude. What would you tell them that can get them off the couch, that can get them back, battle ready, back in the fight? What are some ideas?
What would I do to motivate a motherfucker? You know what I mean? What would I do? Me personally, I lead by example, yeah? Hey, if I could fucking do it, I'm missing a fucking leg. My other leg is fucked up. You know what I mean? You could definitely do it. How do you get out of there? Find a fucking purpose. Use that anger to propel you forward. You know what I mean? Use whatever you need to use to get you out of that fucking couch. Yeah.
Yeah.
To get you going, get you motivated. You know what I mean? It's a cause and effect, a reason, a why. What's your why? What's your reason? Why do you keep on fighting? Why do you keep persisting? Why are you relentless? Are you comfortable of being there, of not doing anything? Or are you happy where you at? Like what is it gonna take you to get up and start fighting again? Like what is it? You know what I mean? It's something you're gonna have to dig deep into yourself and tell yourself, like, hey man, we're fucking fighting. We're all fighting. We all fight. We fight day in and day out. You're not the only one fighting. I'm here fighting day in and day out. We have brothers and sisters fighting day in and day out, and we're all fighting together as one.
Amen.
You know what I mean? So it's just like that. Hey, how are your brothers gonna go out there and fight, and you're not gonna fight alongside of them? You know what I mean? We're all in this fight together. So let's all stand up and fucking fight together, raw.
I love it, Raw. That's Semper Fi shit right there,
You
baby.
think life's entertaining by yourself, man.
Awesome.
Link up with somebody.
Exactly. All right, Jose, where can people follow you? Where can they find you? How can they support you? What's going on? What's coming up for you in your life? Anything exciting happening?
So so we're an official 501c3, Rises Above Hardship. We're coming on a year. We've done numerous events. Next month, May 19th, we're going to be in Burnett, Texas. We're going to be doing Spartan Super. We got about 30 Raleighs going and doing that. And then our next biggest event is we're going to be going. Well, we're trying to go out to Washington, D.C. We have the bibs. We're going to run the Marine Corps Marathon. We have 6 veterans and 6 community athletes. I am going to attempt to push a challenged athlete that has a neurological condition, mitochondrial disease, on a chariot, on a fucking, like, it's like a chair from start to finish. It's never been done by amputee before.
Wow.
And this person is that person that helped me through my 2015 Marine Corps Marathon, to help me finish that race. And that's her son.
Wow.
So fucking full circle. And I'm going to do this. You help me when I need help in my time of need. I'm going to help your son to fulfill that that journey. And we're going to be out there. So that's going to be our biggest thing right now is the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington, D.C.
Is there a website people can donate and support to you and all that?
We have a Facebook. It's at Rise Above Hardship, Facebook.
Okay.
And Rise Above Hardship at Instagram. We're working on our webpage, but we have a donation button on there that it's through a PayPal. And we're actually getting donations and stuff like that because we're 100% proceeds go into our program, and everybody that works for Rise Above Hardship is volunteer purposes.
Awesome.
And what we get out of that is just that fucking peace of mind, man. You know what I mean? That helping others heals the heart.
Amen.
That's what we do, man.
And what's your Instagram page? Because I got to tell you, brother. Out of the people I follow on Instagram, you're definitely one of my top favorites. I love seeing your stuff when you post it. It just, it's so motivating to me, brother, on every level, not just the fitness, but the body, the mind, and the spirit. So I really appreciate it. What's your Instagram page?
It's JOS143_.
Awesome. Well,
cool.
Jose, we can't thank you enough, man. You are a true inspiration, and you possess that, you live it, and we're just, we're so proud of who you are and to have you on the show. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you all and what you all do. And at the end of the day, man, together we rise.
We rise. God bless you.
Take care, bud.
Yes, sir.
Brother, have you ever heard, seriously, someone get that raw about how dark that anger gets, man?
That was good.
Right?
Kind of one of them deals where it's the elephant in the room. We all know it's there. It exists. We talk over it or under it. Good on you, man. That was hardcore.
I know for years, dude. Like when he told that story about getting out wanting to beat that dude, that happened to me like weekly. Man, down in South Florida, are you kidding me? There was one time, I'll tell you one, I was coming out of my neighborhood, a car went like 100 miles an hour down this Palmetto Park Boulevard. I got in behind, chased him in my truck all the way, and he'd stopped by a bridge that went over the Intercoastal, was up. I got out, I went over, I'm banging on his window, I'm like, you mother, I'm screaming at him, I'm in his face. Next thing I know, he's just like, okay. I get out or whatever. He takes off, turns around. Then all of a sudden I come out, I look over, he's shirt off. He wants to fight me. I'm like, awesome. So I get out of the car and I'm going up and he's giving me all this, dance stuff as they do, like, I fight Muay Thai or whatever. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
me too.
Nothing. Just, I'm trying to, and all of a sudden, like I'm closing in, I'm pushing him against his car, I'm closing in, and I look over and there are, 35 cars stopped for the bridge, all windows down, phones out, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing, dude? What the hell? What is my problem? So to hear him talk about it, think about how many guys out there or people that are suffering, that are in that darkness and in that anger, that are going to hear Jose talk about it, that will finally begin to be able to recognize they're not alone.
Sure. Maybe that's on us too, I guess, because the hurt is a real thing. I guess we never talk about it because life is chaos and pain, but there's a difference, right?
Yes.
Chaos and pain that we live in and we thrive in is not the hurt. That's the problem. It's when you get removed from the chaos and pain when it sets in. So if you're going through that stage, if you're in that part of it now, he gave great insight into it and how you can get out of it.
He totally did, right? By serving through the pain. I mean, that was
do the same thing you were doing when you got hurt. You're serving, right? You're serving everybody. We were standing on the line for everybody else. It was our commitment, and we've been trained into that. I mean, diagnosed into it, relegated into it, right? And war that's that laminate sticks to us.
Totally. And that attitude, the culture of it, right?
It's by design.
Yeah.
And then when you look at the same man, when you guys that get hurt and their body's not warfighter ready, but their mind still is, that's where, and it can't keep us like, mind's like, hey, let's go. What are you doing, man? And there's nothing
That
down
was
there.
a great point you made. I
Yeah.
thought, by
It
the
was
way,
awesome.
when you came up with
eventually
that,
it's, you know, it's kind of like that said, it's death's touch, man. It just eats you up, right? Gets inside because you're not capable of what your mind knows you are.
Hey, is there a possibility that we could make a cologne called Death's Cologne, Reaper Cologne, and sell it on the website, please?
Death Touch Cologne.
Death Touch Cologne. What do you think, bud?
The dim mock, right? The death touch from Bloodsport.
I'm pretty.
You can have different scents. One is like smoked almonds. It's like rice and cyanide.
Big whiff of almonds over here. Here's new mown grass. Here's fresh cut hay.
There's VX gas.
God.
Peanut butter. It smells like peanut butter. It's got to be good for you.
Have you tried the new mustard gas? scent?
Oh God.
That's the lotion.
Hand cream.
Hand cream.
Severely chapped hands.
Oh,
dang.
Jesus. Well, listen, if this is your first time listening to the TNQ podcast, welcome aboard. We are so stoked that you're here. Thank you. You just heard a doozy. And listen, if you're a little, once again, I'm just following up with our disclaimer. If the swearing got to you a little bit, we apologize for that, but we were just talking raw. Jose is who he is. We love that about him. Hopefully you can come to understand and realize we're not trying to offend you. What we just want is for you to hear the genuine nature of our guests and where they're coming from and how they speak and to talk the truth. And I know that's what I heard from Jose was the truth.
And if we cut out all the swearing, the show would only be 20 minutes long. So.
But if it gets to you,
You really
that
want the
bad,
brass tacks on that,
Just
that's where
think
it
of
is.
some educated word to throw in.
Yeah, replace the
dub
F-bomb.
in
What the Archimedes?
Awesome. If you're a return offender, God bless you. We love you. Thank you.
What are you
so
doing?
much, man. Thank you so
God bless
much
you.
for coming to show. Wizard, when are we coming in on terms of downloads? Are we?
We're coming up on 5 million.
Oh, bless your heart, dude. Bless all your hearts that are listening. And also, please, if you could, send in your listener stories. We want to hear your greatest never quit story. We got one coming up here in a second. But send in, even if you don't have one, send in one about your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your sister, your mom. We want to hear these stories. We want to post them on the site. And if they're good, we're going to read them on the show. If they're great, Marcus,
I'm bring you on.
you're going to come on as a TNQ podcast guest, listener, and tell your story, man. We love them. Also, we want to talk about social media. Please follow us on Instagram at TNQ Podcast. That's at TNQ Podcast. You can even follow the Wizard now at _Wizard_TNQ. Of course, there's 40 million gazillion people following Marcus, which is at Marcus Luttrell, and mine is at Team Frog Logics. Follow us there. And if you want to listen to the show, you can listen to us everywhere, man. On any Android podcast app that's out there for all you Android weirdos. That wasn't nice to say, was it? I'm pointing that directly at you, Wizard, by
He's
the
a
way.
Mactard. What are you going to do?
Stop. And then you can obviously go to iTunes, go to the search, type in Team. That's all you got to type in. We're the first one that pops in. Team Never Quit Podcast. Hit subscribe, and then you can have us morning, noon, and night. Literally, we will be in your heads at the touch of a button, Marcus. What do you think about that?
Scary thought.
Driving into work, after work, while you're working out, while you're drinking your cup of joe, while you're taking a crap. It doesn't matter. You can have us in your heads 24/7. And you can
Magic of the 21st century,
right?
there.
Isn't it? It's all
It
that
is.
news whiz banging.
What was that one guy wrote in? He's like, man, it's just disgustingly motivating. How do you say it? Remember that guy? Remember that?
Grotesquely motivated.
That was awesome.
Grotesquely motivated.
It was sickening.
You can also listen directly on the website, too, at tnqpodcast.com. All right. Listener story.
Let's do it.
This is another doozy, bud. I appreciate this. All right. Here we go. listener story. This is from Tori. As my favorite author, Ernest Hemingway. What great start, right? We've never had anybody start out like that.
He is good, man.
I mean, it's all you could just say. Didn't Ernest Hemingway once say, and you're already cool, right from that.
Exactly.
All right. As my favorite author, Ernest Hemingway once said.
As my favorite actor once said, Jack Nicholson.
Is that your favorite?
Those talking metaphors can shampoo my crotch. You remember that line?
No. Where is that from?
It's from
Bucket List, right? When he's
Yes.
laying there, and Morgan Freeman blows out a line on him. He's like, those who speak in metaphors can shampoo my crotch. I have been waiting to use that line forever because we know who we see and we hang around these days, man. They're those smart laureates that throw out those high-end Shakespearean. Man.
In the immortal words of Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, the immortal words Jack Nicholson used to say. But I was always mesmerized by those guys who can quote those Shakespearean
sonnets or whatever, or the haikus.
Bible forever. And you know what that comes with for those of you out there who can't get it right away like I can? It comes with time and experience and life and the situations that you get in around the people that you're in. You'll have somebody quote one of those. That's how you remember it because somebody else used it so much.
Yeah.
And the teams were notorious for that. So especially with the Bible verses from John, Revelations, the
Proverbs is a big one, man.
And it's cool, man. When someone throws one of those out, it jerks you right back to where a certain moment. Those guys knew what they were doing when they wrote it, Hemingway especially.
Oh, he's unbelievable. He's my favorite. One of my favorite books all time, man. You know, is
Just
ran out of talent.
All cans. He's talking about running out of talent at the right moment.
Oh my God! Old Man in the Sea, you assholes.
I have them all downstairs if you want to go back over them.
Paul, I just ran out of talent on that one, bud. All right, let me read this thing. As my favorite author, Ernest Hemingway, once said, write hard and clear about what hurts. So, this is what I'm going to do for the first time. I'm going to sit behind my typewriter and bleed, as he put it. I'm not a very open person, so bear with me on this. I've only told a handful of people about this, but I hope it reaches someone who needs to hear it. I was a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps, and I loved it. I felt invincible and alive. I was good at what I did and enjoyed my time while I was in. I had the best and worst times with some of the best people I've ever met. In 2014, I was honorably discharged and sent back on my way into the real world, just as many do. I directly went from being hard-charging enlisted Marine to being a full-time college student at a private university. I went from professionally swearing, yelling, and drinking to sitting in the back of a classroom amongst people in which I could not relate to. Now, let me mention that I did not do all of the high-speed, low-drag things that many of my friends or many other people have done while being in the military. I do not suffer from PTSD, nor do I have any job-related injuries. I was in Afghanistan, but only went outside the wire a few times. The issue that affected me in my life has to do with my newfound identity crisis that I found myself going through at 24 years old. Being a part of a warrior culture in which is so vastly different from the culture of the generation that I regretfully belong to is where my story truly belongs. In the beginning of 2016, I found myself becoming a different person. I had stopped going to the gym, stopped going to school, and stopped being myself. I was pushing my husband, family, and friends away without even knowing it. The person that I was becoming was someone I could not even recognize nor wanted to. I was drinking more than I ever had before and became the heaviest I've ever been. I had done a complete 360 and could not stop myself. I had lost my sense of purpose, my sense of drive, and ultimately I was losing myself. I have always been a mentally tough person and unconsciously hard-headed. I say unconsciously because I don't do it on purpose for kicks. I find myself in trying situations and I have to learn the hard way in order to thrive afterwards. I love and hate that about myself, but it keeps me humble and cogent. The identity crisis I was suffering from at such a young age was holding me back. It was altering my life to such a point that I was becoming mentally weaker. I was no longer that person that is home on leave and your parents point to with pride. I was no longer someone's sergeant. I was no longer someone making some type of difference. I was just me in a world that I did not understand. And ultimately, it did not understand me. I couldn't really relate to my new girlfriends, and my old friends were slowly disappearing. I was ashamed of myself and hid from everyone. This is when my story takes a turn. I will never forget when I tried to end my life. It would forever be with me. I had to get so drunk to work up the courage to do something that I was too scared to do sober. An act that didn't take courage at all. When I close my eyes to think about it, I can see myself in third person. I see my mom downstairs because she was visiting for the weekend. I see my husband in the other room watching TV and laughing. I see myself on the floor of our bedroom with my hand over my mouth to quiet the sound of me sobbing. I didn't want anyone to come in and stop me from making a choice I was set out to do. I feel the pain that I felt as I was curled in a ball. I felt that I was a loser for not having an identity, and I thought that was worth anything anymore. That I was not the person I wanted to be, and wanted to stop feeling so weak. I was embarrassed of who I was now, and that I was at my rock bottom. I had the gun to my head. I remember thinking that I had finally worked up the courage to just disappear. Right before my mom and husband walked in, I thought of a Medal of Honor recipient and his book that I had recently read. He mentioned about the time that he was in his truck and was going to attempt to kill himself. I thought about how much he had been through and his pain. I thought of him stopping and not going through with it. This is where my hard-headedness saved me. I thought about if he went through all of that and didn't do it, then surely I can get over this. I can pull myself out of this low part of my life and continue on. My sense of motivation is taken from hearing stories about people who have had all the wrong cards dealt and somehow make it through it. If that person can do it, so can I. My dad has always told me this since I was a little girl. Don't cry. Do something about it. I lost who I was and ignored that saying for the first time in my life. I let my mind trick myself into becoming someone in which I was not proud of. Since then, I'm almost 27 years old and feel like I've got my life back on track. We all have a chapter of our lives that we don't read out loud. But I hope if yours is similar to mine, you have hope that there is in fact a light at the end of the tunnel. It's difficult for me to think that I am telling something so secret about myself to the world. But after listening to this podcast, I knew there were others out there like me. I've graduated from college and I'm about to begin my professional career. Since then, I've noticed more things about life that I was too stubborn or angry to see before. I love deeper and let more people in. I feel alive in the outdoors and picked up a woodworking hobby, as odd as that may sound. My never quit moments stem from others not quitting when they very well could have. I think of Marcus while I'm at the gym and want to quit. My husband had always been my better half to get me through difficult situations, and I cannot thank him enough for listening to me and recognizing when I was hurting. I wanted to share this because I think there is a major correlation with veteran suicide and the sense of loss of identity. We are our own keepers and need to be accountable to each other. I wanted others to know that they are not in it alone in feeling this way, and that they too can continue to live a happy and healthy life. We have to find that ultimate gut check epitome in our lives to remember that we are lucky to have 24 hours a day to be with the people we love most. Marcus, you always say you used to wonder if warriors are born or if they're made. I agree, they're born. And when life throws you a hardball, that's when you're forged. That is how things become better and harder, by being under pressure and showing what you're made of. I came into this world as a warrior, and I will leave it as a warrior. Tori, thank you so much for writing in and sharing this experience with our listeners. And I hope everybody out there who hears this story, who's in that dark space, who's in the blackness that Jose talked about, who's struggling with this challenge, recognizes that through a collective team effort, through being next to other people that love you and care for you, you can find the light. I promise you. That's how it worked for me. That's how it works for everybody I know that's gone through it. I just want to thank God and Christ for everything you've done for me in my life. I want to thank my girls. I want to thank Sunshine in my life. I want to thank my family. I want to thank all of our listeners. I want to thank Jose, man. You are awesome. I want to thank Tori. I want to thank you two, Wizard, Marcus. Thank you, man, for giving me the inspiration to come into this studio and do this show day in and day out, so that we can help people around the world.
Yeah,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Absolutely. Tori, good job. You kind of ran through the gamut of almost everything. It's one of them situations when that warrior spirit that you have is sometimes you think you got to put it away because of the environment that you're in, but all you have to do is just shift, adapt, and overcome, right? It's like you're undercover or something. My mind works. And you're on a mission the whole time, start to finish. And at the end of the day, man, when you step back and the kids are in bed, the husband's happy and everything, is like mission accomplished. Can't wait to see what tomorrow brings, right? Wake up in the morning and see what the plan of the day is and operate like you would. You're going to hit obstacles. You're not going to win every battle, but you never stop being a warrior if you have your ass whipped or if you get through it. So keep pushing forward. And Jose, man, good job. I don't even have anything else to say about that. You kind of spit it all out. So thanks to everybody for y'all keep listening and keep bringing us back. That's really something, man. We love y'all for that. Thank you. I'm out.
Out.